a lot of thought, Nick, and I want to run it by you.
Sure.
I think the surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, Mantar. Everything has a more real sports feel, and it gets you invested that much more.
The dude's teeth aren't probably as big either.
It gives it more of a big fight feel. It makes it feel more real. If that glass shatters, I won't be ashamed. There will be happy man tears streaming down my face. Just the goosebumps will be bumped out. I'll hold my arm out like The Rock so you can see my goosebumps. And I'll have happy man tears coming down my face if that glass shatters. Oh, my goodness.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and never wrong, Nick Bull.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. We, of course, are powered by Low Pies Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook Country Financial. I am your host, never wrong, Nick Bull. Joining me is my tag team champion co-partner of the For Frequency's Sake podcasting network, the one, the only, the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm rested. I'm ready. I'm relaxed. What a weekend we had this past weekend, man. What a weekend.
This show is reaching you a couple days after. Of course, it took us a couple days to recover from the Sandra Lee Memorial Car and Bike Show. We want to thank Ricky Lee for his hospitality to the utmost degree, treating the Wizard CZ and myself, never wrong, like royalty. He was great to us. It was a great time being out there. Just taking us a couple days to recover. Of course, you took time out Friday night, early Saturday morning to drive and pick up the Godfather from O'Hare Airport. We talked about that a little bit on episode 119. If you missed that story, go back and listen to it. CZ sharing his time driving the Ho train with the WWE Hall of Famer. But we really had a great time at the Memorial Car Show, the Sandra Lee Memorial Card Show and Car and Bike Show at the Rock Island County Fairgrounds. Of course, Card Subject to Change had a presence there, as there were wrestlers there, a slew of wrestlers that we had the great opportunity, largely thank in part to Ricky Lee for getting the interviews for us so we could present them to you guys in this show. Of course, our first interview, CZ, a WWE.
Well, before we get to the wrestlers,
yes, you're right.
I want to let Ricky Lee. We're going to let Ricky Lee tell us in his own words. I had a chance to talk with him before everything really got going.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm excited too. You know, you talk in the intro about those happy man tears, and that was this whole weekend for me. All right, here is Ricky Lee talking about the importance of the Sandra Lee Memorial Car Show. Hey everybody, it's the Wizard CZ. We're introing our start of our interviews here. We're at the 3rd annual Sandra Lee Memorial Car Show. With me here is Ricky Lee. He is who put this all together and brought us on board. Ricky, I want to ask you, what's the importance of this car show for you?
It's a car show put on in memory of my late wife. The car show community put on a car show the year she passed away. So this is just a car show for us to put back towards a local charity.
And talk about the charity involvement. Who's this going to? And how did you get involved? What is the meaning of the charity behind everything here?
The charity we've got this year is the Autism Society of Quad Cities. It's the first year we're going with them. We were with another charity last year, but they closed their doors, so we had to. This was kind of last minute.
Which happens, but glad you were able to get this put together. Appreciate you bringing us on board and letting us talk with the famous wrestlers that are here. Ricky, anything you want to say to our audience before we let you off the hook?
Come on out.
Really appreciate your support.
Right.
That is Ricky Lee and his wife from the Sandra Lee Memorial Car and Bike Show, and it was a great turnout, a great day for a car show. The rain stayed away. We were a little worried when we pulled into the parking lot there about the rain off to the west, but the clouds stayed away long enough for the car and bike show, and it was an excellent turnout for that. And glad that Card Subject to Change was a part of that. As we walked away from there, I'm like, well, I'm glad we were a part of this, and I know you felt the same way. We are the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan. We're powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook Country Financial. This is episode 120. We're breaking down our interviews and who we spoke to at the Sandra Lee Memorial Car and Bike Show, CZ, and I'll let you introduce this first interview.
So this first interview, WWE Hall of Famer, he gave us a good chunk of his time, and I was really grateful for that. As you'll see, I didn't do a lot of talking with our first interview. I let Nick run the show on this one, but we're going to talk to the Birdman of the WWE, Mr. Koko B. Ware. I'll let you know it does take, we are doing a different format with these videos. They were too long to fit into our streaming service, so it may take a second for it to pop up. I apologize, but here is Koko B. Ware.
Koko B. Ware. Koko, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, man, for having me.
I got to ask you, in a time of big muscle men and big bodies in the WWE, WWF, you were known for your high flying. Talk about how it stuck out for you as you were a high flyer in the days of the big muscle men.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, I had to be very, very special to get in the ring with the big giants.
Yes.
And I really appreciate the Giants letting the little short guy like Koko B. Ware in the ring. And, man, I'll tell you what, I had to do a whole lot of extra things to make my name, make me work with a big man and stuff like that. Guys about tall as you guys, man. I mean, it was just, it was a great time, but I had to work extra hard when I wasn't wrestling. I had to be in the gym training and stuff like that and see what I could do to make it logical for the Birdman to tackle a big man. So it's always saying a good little man cannot beat a big man, a good big man any day. You can't do it.
Sure.
The horsepower is not there. And so that's what I had to keep everything, respectful and made it real. Unbelievable, because when people see Koko B. Ware going against Andre the Giant,
right,
going against the Barbarian and stuff, Nikolai Volkov,
yep,
and all these guys here, the list goes on and on. What can I do?
And you found your niche.
And I found it. And if you notice, like on Saturday Night Main Event, I went against Nikolai Volkov.
Yep.
Well, I caught Nikolai unexpected. I caught him off guard.
Yep.
And when I got in the ring with him, he made one turn, like he turned his back or whatever, and he came back. Well, I done got behind him and got a scoop, and just rolled him up, and the referee counted 1, 2, 3, and out the Birdman go.
Not sticking around for any more.
You see what I'm saying? And Nikolai couldn't believe it.
Sure.
He jumped, he popped up, wait a minute, what happened here? The match hadn't even got started. But that was logical for the Birdman. That's how I had to sneak and win matches off of these big giants, and I loved them to death. God bless their heart and stuff like that, man. Some of them has gone on, but you know what? If it weren't for those guys, it wouldn't be the Birdman. It wouldn't be the wrestling fans that supported me. I wouldn't be the Birdman at all. And I thank WWE for putting me into the WWE Hall of Fame, the WWF Hall of Fame, and all that stuff. I want to thank the Cauliflower Alley Club, and Brian Blair, that put me into the Hall of Fame out there in Vegas this past year and stuff like that. Oh my God, it just makes me feel good when I got fans all over the world that really know Coco Beware.
Oh, for sure.
And I could go anywhere in the country, they know me. What I'm saying, because of the WWE, if it wasn't for the fans, there wouldn't be a Hulk Hogan. There wouldn't be a Coco Beware. There wouldn't even be a Rock. There wouldn't even be a John Cena.
Right.
What I'm saying, though, I mean, we paved the way for everybody. And we just want the young generation to pick up where we left off at.
Yes.
And I look at all the talent out there. I love all the wrestling talent. You know, I'm saying everybody don't have it, but you know what? There's a lot of them have got the wrestling talent down pat. And that's what. And when I look at guys like Kobe Kingston, stuff like that, I look at myself. I said, man, I used to be just like Kobe. You know, in that age bracket, I said I could fly off the top and do it all. You know, Rey Mysterio. Oh my God, got these guys from Mexico. I love the Mexican.
The Lucha Libre style.
Yes,
Yep.
I love those guys. I love them, man. I mean,
Could you imagine if the Lucha Libre style was around back in the WWF with you around?
I was the.
You were the Lucha Libre at that time.
I was.
Could you imagine matching up with those guys?
Yeah.
And the matches you would have had?
Oh my God, unbelievable! That's what I'm talking about. Well, they putting all this package together, and they have brought it bigger than life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's bigger than life now. So I'm proud of our young coming up talent, and I can sit back and I can look at the ones got talent, the ones that need a little more learning and stuff like that. You all have talent. I'm not saying none of the wrestling, none of the women wrestlers or anything like it don't have any talent. You all have it. You just gotta know how to use it. You know, you got to know how to put it together. And if you don't know how to put it together, then ask somebody to help you. You know, because it's very, very important that you go out there and entertain the people. Once you're coming through the curtains, you better know where you're going. Because, hey, you can go out there and embarrass yourself, and you go out there and look good, and people are proud of you. Hey, look good, smell good, talk good, act good, just do it.
You said something a couple seconds ago that sparked my memory. You said larger than life. It's not every day you get to talk to somebody that was part of WrestleMania 3, the WrestleMania that kind of kicked down the door and busted open for everybody. Talk about being a part of WrestleMania 3.
And that's what it was. That was a gift from heaven. The reason why I say that was a gift from heaven, because when I was a little boy from Union City, Tennessee, where I was born and raised, I dreamed about, I wanted to be that wrestler, and I dreamed about being on a big stage of a huge crowd of people. And I cried in the bed at night, and that's what I wanted to be on. I said, if I could get there, I could make a lot of money. I could build my mama a house and all that stuff. See, that's country, my mama. I could build my mama a house, my mother a house, and stuff like that. I said, I could do a whole lot of things with this. I said, but I finally made it to the big dance. I made it to the big White House in the wrestling business, WrestleMania 3. And God answered those prayers for me. And you know what? You talk about crying all the way from the dressing room going to the ring on the little buggy.
Yes.
But I'm tears coming out of my eyes because there's something that I dreamed about. WrestleMania 3, all these people, thousands of people was coming out and watching me from a little small town of Union City, Tennessee. And I know my little town is barely on the map, but it's on the map. But I was so proud of coming from Union City, and I'm so proud of the people in Union City. I never forgot them. I never forgot them, and I never will. No matter where I go, whatever, I have family there and stuff like that. I have friends there, But God answered my prayers, wrestling fans. God answered my prayers, and I want to appreciate God. I want to appreciate you all. Man, y'all keep it going. Keep it going. Because there's a whole lot more talk out there in the wrestling business that the wrestling fans would love to hear, with some more wrestlers besides Coco Beware and stuff like that, because I can go on and on and on because I love the business and it's all upstairs.
Well, we can't thank you enough for talking with us here on the Card Subject to Change podcast. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you a question. This past week was the 32nd anniversary of High Energy forming as a tag team. Any good Owen Hart stories you have with tagging with him and driving up and down the roads with him?
Owen was funny with the whole family. The Hart Foundation with Stu Hart, Owen's father, and stuff like that. I went to Canada and Stu Hart tried to take me down in the basement, and down in the dungeon doom and stuff like that. And he tried to stretch me and wanted me, let me put that, and he talked like that, let me put this little hold on you and see can you get out of it and all that stuff. And Stu said, you're a tough little bastard, aren't you? So, but we had it was such a great, just great being with the Hart Foundation. Owen was funny, but I didn't rib him a lot. There was the Nasty Boys and Owen Hart. They the one ribbed each other. Oh, you got to get those Nasty Boys talking about it. You got to get him with Bret Hart and all the whole family. God bless you all, the Hart family. I love y'all, man. I just love all the talent that's going on. They're going on to glory, and we still got a lot of them still here. Like even Papa Shunga. What's his name?
Godfather.
I'm all excited right now. I can't even say Godfather. But anyway, you got him. You got the big boat over there. And stuff like that. And that's what makes me. It's a family reunion when I see at these Comic Cons. I come out and say so and so is going to be here. Bob Orr Jr. was supposed to be here and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? That's my family. I never forgot it. And I love each and every one of you guys.
Coco, can I ask you one question? I got to jump in.
Okay, jump in.
87, great year. The album, record, Pile Driver, 87, Slammy Awards, 2 historical events. You were the focal point, as in a fan's eyes, of Pile Driver and the Slammy Awards. Amazing. What are your thoughts on those 2?
Well, hey, I was into music already. I sing gospel. My dad had his own quartet group, and he learned me how to play the guitar a little bit, and I just started singing gospel songs in church. In fact, I still sing gospel songs in my New Shelby Missionary Baptist Church in Collierville, Tennessee. I still play lead guitar there and stuff like that. That's where I'm going tomorrow. Bang! I got to leave out tonight, head back, and so I can be for the service tomorrow morning. And so, and they asked me to do a little something on the wrestling album and stuff like that. And so they heard Vince McMahon say, I heard you sing just a little bit. So you mind trying to do a lead singer on Pile Driver and stuff like that? We got it all together and stuff like that. And that was one of the greatest things. You know, here it is. We shot the video out there in San Francisco. It was cold as heck, man. And we up on this big tall building. And I'm out there with a hard hat on and sludge hammer. Sometimes love, like a slow dance. You can tiptoe around, but don't make a sound. You can make a little silent romance. But sometimes love feels just right. It feels so real. It feels just like a power driver. Yeah, a power driver. That's what I'm talking about. Man. So that's what made the Power Driver album look good, and the fans bought it and stuff like that. And I was just so happy. I was so happy got a chance to do that.
Well, Coco, thank you so very much. We appreciate you being a part of our podcast. Pleasure talking to you. I'm sorry I didn't say much. I let Nick run
this show. I was going to say, you sure talked a lot, didn't you?
I let Nick run this show, but we're equals here. But thank you again. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day. And really appreciate all the work you put in wrestling.
I really appreciate you guys. And you got to remember, y'all got one of the best podcasts out there. So keep your head up, guys. And hey, they got a lot more to come. Good news. Sing a little powder.
Wow. If you had Coco Beware singing Pile Driver on the Card Subject to Change podcast on your bingo card, you just take the cake, because I didn't see that one coming. How about you, partner?
No, not at all. Not at all. That was amazing. And he gave me crap at the end there because I didn't say much, and I did chime in. I did sing along a little bit with Pile Driver, but
I did too. I know. I heard you. No, but for Coco to sing Pile Driver on our podcast,
what a great time that was.
I want to thank Dirty Don Feldman. He was our cameraman. He asked that question about Pile Driver. He was a big Pile Driver in the first wrestling album. He's a big fan, and I'm glad he did, because he got Coco to sing Pile Driver on our show, and it was nice for the Hall of Famer to put over Card Subject to Change podcast for sure. That was something I'll never forget. That definitely that got the day rolling just a few days ago when we were out at the Sandra Lee Memorial Car and Bike Show.
Oh, it really did. And the hits just keep on coming, as they say. We got to talk with the original gorgeous lady of wrestling, Miss Hollywood, and we're gonna hear from her right now. Hear what she has to say. I was really excited. This was another good chat here. So here is the Glow Lady Hollywood.
That's a good question. Scary. It was scary at first, and really, I don't remember a lot of girls doing that. You know, I'd seen ballets and whatnot, but what the cool thing was, I think that Glow was way before its time. You know, I think that we broke that glass ceiling for the ladies today, for sure.
Absolutely.
And we didn't have these, so, you know, you only knew you were popular if you're on TV and you're getting your fan mail. You didn't have all this. And the interesting thing was they didn't give us our fan mail, and I had to find it. So I was when I did the pilot, and I did season 1, 2, 3, and 4, which were all the seasons. And on season 3 and 4, I decided that I was only going to wrestle on Wednesday, do the show on Saturday. We negotiated, and then I could go home for a little while, back to California.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I went into the office to get my check, and I saw this huge bag of mail, and I had a feeling it was for us. And I look at the girl, I'm like, Jackie? I go, what is that? Oh, that's the fan mail. I go, what? Because they were not giving us the fan mail. I went through that, and it was just so... I was just amazed. I'm like, okay, so people do know who we are. Pretty cool.
Talk about when you see women's wrestling today, you got to look at it and kind of smile and be like,
I do.
I'm kind of part of that. Like, I helped get that
Build
to where
that.
it was.
Exactly.
Or where it is.
Exactly. And what I love is that the women today, they have longer matches now. The only thing I don't like is that slammy stuff. I'm like, no, I like old school, tell a story. You know, that's my thing. But everything changes, and the ladies today, they're strong, they're beautiful. You know, kudos to them. Keep going. I can't even imagine what it'll be like in 50 years, in 20 years. You know, the new generation of kids.
For sure.
If one of this new generation were to approach you and ask you for any advice in the wrestling world, what would you say to these ladies?
So, not everyone's going to be a star. No, not everyone's going to be on television. I would say you can't just give 100%. You need to give 110%. And I would know right away which ones do that. But have plan B, go to school, plan C maybe, you know, so that way you're not 50 years old and you're still slamming, you know. Definitely go to school, for sure.
Is there anybody currently that's wrestling that catches your eye and you're like, man, I really would have liked to have wrestled her or worked with her?
I think my favorite is Sasha Banks.
Okay.
I've always liked her. She reminded me of a little Hollywood of myself, kind of, in the ring. She's a little spitfire, and I'd like to meet her. We know each other, obviously, from social media, but I think she would have been pretty cool to wrestle. I think we'd make great tag team partners instead. Maybe I don't want to wrestle you. I don't want you to kick my ass. Maybe we should let's tag team.
Yeah.
For sure.
We want to thank you for your time,
Thank you.
for being on the Card Subject to Change podcast, and appreciate everything you've done for the wrestling world.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Have a good day, you guys.
What a nice lady. The great thing about wrestling is you get to meet new people, people you never thought you'd talk to. And that's definitely one of them. And she had a great story. And she's got a book coming out here in the very near future and is going to be back on the show to talk about that book. And we are very excited to announce that on here that
yes, she is.
She agreed to come back on to the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan for the fan, to come talk about her book when it comes out. That's Hollywood from the original Glow wrestling promotion. She had some great stories off camera. She was a hoot. I had a really good time hanging out and getting to meet her, and can't put her over enough. She was so cool, very approachable, just a gorgeous lady with great stories to tell. And like I said, she's got a book coming out in the very near future, and she'll be back on the show here to discuss it.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about something else that you got to do that was very unique. I'm not going to spoil it, but Fred Ottman let you do something very special. That is who we're gonna hear from next. Nick was like a kid in a candy shop. His face just lit up when this happened, and you'll see it in just a minute. But we're gonna hear from Fred Ottman, who you know better as Typhoon, Tugboat, or the Shockmaster, if you will.
Before
Here
we
comes Mr. Fred Ottman. Oh, sorry. Give me just 1 second. There it is. Here we go.
Busting into the Card Subject to Change green room is none other than Fred Ottman. Fred, you're known as Tugboat.
Oh, Fred Ottman. Okay, Tugboat, Typhoon, the Shockmaster, and the B8 Double D, Big Steel Man.
Yes, sir.
Managed by Diamond Dallas Page back in the day.
Yes, sir. I am holding the original Shockmaster mask.
That's it.
And I was just talking with...
I just want you to know, I did the Edge of the Christian show with this. You know that, right?
There we go. Now it's on our show.
But it doesn't smell like the Bastion Booger's balls. Okay? Just letting you know that, okay? That's what somebody said.
Okay.
It wasn't me, but I'm just saying.
It is an honor to hold this mask, and I wanted to start out the interview. I've heard so many variations of the story, but I want to get the Shockmaster tale straight from your mouth.
It's a tale, though. It's a tale of many, many people.
Okay.
Many, many people. When you're having a bad day, okay, you watch this over, like the millions that have watched it, and had the pee your pants kind of time. Everybody has a Shockmaster day. It could be the greatest of the greatest. It could be somebody at work. It could be you that have had a Shockmaster day where shit just doesn't go the way it's supposed to.
Sure.
But this guy here, he lives on an infinite Infinity?
If it's Dusty Rhodes, it's Infinity.
Well, baby, let me tell you. Okay, don't make me give it the bionic elbow.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but what do you want to know? What intricacies do you want to know about this guy? Okay, he's made the tour around the world.
Yep.
He's been everywhere. It is evil. Voices will come. It will tell you. It'll say, you know you want to wear me. I am the Shockmaster. You want to put me on. You know that I'm a chick magnet. If you're wearing this, okay, your date card will increase immensely. Okay, I'm just letting you know that. Just the way it is. Chick magnet. Okay, all you need is the booby propellers and you'll be set. Yeah, T-backs, booby propellers, and the Shockmaster mask. Yes. But you ask how it happens. They go, hey, baby, let me tell you, you're gonna put this on here. We're going to hide your identity half hour before the show starts. Okay, you're going to put this on. I put it on. It's got little bitty drilled holes, like with a drill in here. They're filled with glitter right now.
Yep.
Okay, and it was coming through the eye holes. Showed the secretary. They had her pull off her pantyhose and cut patches out of them and glued them over those eye holes, where you can only see barely light coming through.
Sure.
And they said, this will protect you. Now I can't see anything. I could barely make out anything, but now we're going to nothing.
Yep.
And you can put it on your head. I'll let you do that. You know he wants a shot with you. You know?
Yeah.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. Right here. Yes, it's evil.
Yeah.
It's evil.
I can feel its powers.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Before we let you off the hook,
Sure.
you were a pivotal part of the time when I first started wrestling.
Sure.
You were around some of the big dogs. Just
Yes.
going to name one particular name.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, brother.
You were on both sides of the ring with
Yes.
him, whether you were teaming with him
Or
as
tugging on
tugboat or tugging on
Or
him.
as his cheerleader. Also.
Yeah.
That's right. When you got put in the hospital, when quaked him, you got quaked.
Talk
Yes.
about your time with Hulk Hogan and what that meant, being part of his storylines, which was so pivotal.
It's a great deal. I mean, you know, I felt honored to be there. I was real nervous because they put me right. First, they came to me. I was wrestling the first 6 or 8 months as a steel man. It's in all the encyclopedias and that stuff, whatever. And they came one day and they go, "Got this great idea. We want to make you a sailor, tugboat." And I'm like, I'm still a kid. I watch cartoons. I'm a kid. I have toys. I have lots of stuff, okay? And they go, let me see. You want me to be a cross between Popeye and Bluto or Brutus in this one character? Sign me up. Hey, I'm all about that. You know, it's something I can have fun with, enjoy doing, and, you know, kids, I had fun with the kids and all that stuff, and just having a good time. And then they put me with Hulk Hogan, and I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, and here you go from just getting in your feet in the door and working, and then you're with the number one guy in the industry. Other than Ric Flair, he was the king. And not taking anything away from Ultimate Warrior either, but he was the guy. You know, I mean, he was the guy. So it was amazing. You know, sometimes I'd have to pee 3 times before I go out the gate, out the curtain. Because I'd be so nervous.
Sure.
You don't screw up with, you know, with the president, you know, the king. You know what I'm saying? That's where he was on this level, you know. So it was a great honor to be there and be picked and selected, and hope every night that you do a great job being with this guy and performing well in the ring. So it was great, you know. And it was just as fun when they turned. I got people that hate me now for turning on the Bushwhackers in a match. Okay, when I made my heel turn, you know, and then working against Hogan, but they put me with Quake. So, which is like my brother from another mother. I mean, greatest guy walk on the planet. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you guys seen the Dark Side tribute to him and that stuff. I felt blessed to be a part of that. I'm still close with his children. my oldest boy does television production for WWE now.
Wow.
He's very tight with John Jr. They're cool whenever they're performing in a town or whatever, he's there. But, I feel I had a great career. I feel honored to be a part of this business. I was a wrestling fan since I'm 9 years old and became a wrestler and still a fan. My nephew holding the strap in WWE, that's kind of neat for him. Great kid, great guy, and Dustin Rhodes, another great guy, has a great school.
What was that like watching WrestleMania 40 and seeing
I watched it.
And seeing, what were your feelings?
It was great. I thought, first of all the matches were just tremendous.
Yes.
From the beginning to the end, the women's, the men's, all the matches were just tremendous. It was a great. You've seen the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
They don't.
And to have that many people in one area for so many days, and even Raw after the fact.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? SmackDown before the fact. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Just incredible.
And seeing Cody finish his story.
Yeah, but the story does never end.
No, never. It just starts. It's just starting back over.
The same ones that cheer, the same ones that'll boo.
Right.
It's just the business, the nature of the business. You got to love it or you don't. If you don't like it,
I agree.
You talked about the honor it was for you to work with big dogs. I want to say it's been an honor talking to you.
Oh, it's great.
We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day today.
I got to wear the Shockmaster mask.
There you go. It doesn't get any better than that.
Doesn't.
Insane in the membrane. There you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, brother. No problem.
Now, Nick, I know that you're never going to get the original mask, but I think from this moment forward, you need to work on making a replica mask and wear that continuously on the show.
I might have to.
Shockmaster Jr. Nick Bull.
I'd be honored to. It was an honor to wear the mask. Yeah, he's right. You couldn't see anything out of that thing. So there's no wonder why he tripped. And the rest is history, if you will. I loved his Dusty impression, man. His Dusty impression was right on. He was great. Fred Ottman was a big teddy bear, in my opinion. He was great. He was full of stories. He shared them with us. He was funny. And you can tell he still cares about the business. And that is what we're all about here. Making new friends in wrestling. And I think we made a new one yesterday with Fred Ottman, with Tugboat, with Typhoon, with Shockmaster. He was great. And I'm still smiling a couple days later after wearing the Shockmaster mask. And it did have voices. It did have some evil powers to it. I had to get it off before I turned. I definitely don't want to turn on anybody here, as we are the podcast by the fan for the fan.
No.
We are Card Subject to Change. We are powered by Low Pies Pizza. We are built by Durham Remodeling. We're colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. Thank you so much for joining us. This is episode 120. We are breaking down our interviews and telling our stories from the Sandra Lee Memorial Car and Bike Show. We had such a great time, CZ. But we have one more interview left, and this was a guy that you got to know on a little bit of a personal level. If you listen to episode 119, CZ was able to burn the midnight oil, if you will, and drove to Chicago to pick up none other than the one, the only, the Godfather from the airport, and make him make sure that he got back here in time for the show so everybody else could get a chance to meet him and interact with him. And what a great guy he was to interact with. Real name Charles Wright, but we know him as the Godfather, Papa Shango, the Good Father, Kama Mustafa, was very gracious with his time and was awesome. Had some great stories to tell.
And I'm going to let him speak for himself here. I agree with everything he said, Nick. Very cool to have the chance to talk with him. Here is the Godfather. Here at the Sandra Lee Memorial Car Show with my new best friend. He is the Godfather. He is here to talk all about wrestling. And the first thing I want to ask, it's been on my mind for the last few days. You were in an angle with The Undertaker, not as the Godfather, but as Kama Mustafa.
Okay.
You took his urn. You melted it down for a gold chain ablaze. Talk about who came up with that story and what that was like, building that rivalry there.
Believe me, I wouldn't have came up with making it a chain like that. Only a black guy would take an urn and make it a chain. But no, it was pitched to me, and I went with it. A little different. I tell you what, I took a lot of ass whoopings for taking that chain. If I'd have known I was going to take all those ass whoopings, I wouldn't have took it.
Talk about what it means. You were a central, pivotal figure of the Attitude Era, one of the biggest booms in wrestling history as the Godfather. What was it like being in the eye of that storm during that, being the Godfather during that time?
The best thing is I was being myself. So I wasn't a voodoo man, I wasn't a militant, I wasn't an ultimate fighter. I was just out there being myself. And there's nothing better in this world than to get paid to be yourself.
Right.
And so I was having the time of my life, man. And in fact, I'm still having a great time because people are older now, like such as yourself.
Yep.
And they're bringing back that. I remember you as Papa Shango, and you scared me as a kid.
Yep.
And the girls in the whole train, and you taught me all about the fight, So it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
You were, as part of Quad City history here in the Quad Cities, the first Raw after Owen Hart's untimely passing was here, and you lost the belt to Jeff Jarrett. So, like, everybody, you're very popular around here as the Godfather, losing the Intercontinental Championship tonight. That's a monumental Raw for around here, and it gets brought up a lot of people's memories. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I'm going to have to hang out here a little longer.
Yeah. Do you have any good Owen Hart stories?
I don't tell Owen Hart stories. They're all out there. You've heard about all the events and stuff.
Yep.
He's just a great dude, and we lost a really good guy way too soon.
Yep.
Great family man. He wasn't a degenerate like the rest of us. I don't even think I ever seen Owen drink. He was just a great dude, great person to have in the locker room, and that's the best I can tell you about him. Just a good dude.
I was that little kid you were ribbing on earlier about being scared of Papa Shango. What was it like coming through that curtain and scaring the crap out of people?
It was different. I went from being a biker to being a voodoo man, so it was a little different. But I enjoyed it. I took it serious. A lot of people don't know is when I would put that face paint on. From that point on, I would not talk to you. So if you had something to talk to me, I would just look at you. I'd sit in the corner, and I would literally just sit in the corner. I really got into that gimmick.
Yeah.
So it was true, but I had a good time doing it. Not as much as the Godfather. The problem with Papa Shango was just the maintenance and the upkeep, and the smoke and the face paint, and a lot of people paint their face, but they painted my nostrils, my eyes, my nose, my lips. So you'd be wrestling, all of a sudden, suck in some of that paint. And that smoke. By the time I got to the ring, you'd think I just hit a big bong or something.
Plus, I bet that took a lot longer than rounding up a handful of beautiful women to walk to the ring with you.
Well, no, that was easy for me. I am the Godfather.
One last question for you. If you were to give any advice to the young up-and-coming wrestlers today, what advice would you give them?
Wrestling is so much different now than it was, and opportunities are so much different now than it was when I came up. So I would stick to learn as much as you can, listen to everybody, take bits and pieces, even if you don't agree with them, listen and learn as much as you can. Don't just be out there, be a puncher and a kicker, man. Learn as much as you can. And listen. Be open-minded.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Both you guys.
Thank you.
My brothers.
You heard him say it. We're brothers. We're family now. Pro wrestling is family, and now we're family with the Godfather. That's a great person to be related to in the wrestling world.
Oh yeah. And nobody. Fortunately, neither of us made a Ho Train comment while we were interviewing him. Although that comment was made. Oh man.
I refrained from making a Ho Train comment while talking to the Godfather. I definitely wanted to get the Papa Shango question asked, which we did, but what a remarkable guy to talk to. Great stories and very down to earth, as you could tell in that interview.
I will tell you one thing I didn't mention on our last episode, in my car ride with the Godfather, our tribal chief, DJ Jervis, he suggested, or it was brought up in a conversation with him, that the Right to Censor theme be played throughout the car trip from Chicago back to East Moline.
Oh.
And I brought that up to Godfather. He looks at me and goes, I would have stepped out of the car. And I look back at him and I go, yeah, me too.
That music gets on your nerves real quick. It really does. And you could tell that he didn't care too much about the Right to Censor gimmick.
Oh man!
Hey,
Well, that was our. Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to wrap the show up. You've got more to say. Go for it.
Yeah, I wanted to give a special shout out to Ricky Lee from the car show. He hooked us up with these autograph posters. We got Tugboat's autograph on there, Coco Beware, Godfather, and then Hollywood's. All those interviews you've seen on here, we got it autographed. And of course, it's got our show logo on there. It means a bunch, and it's definitely going to hang here in the high view for days to come. And once again, I wanted to thank Ricky for all that he did and helped us out with this show. We, as Card Subject to Change, I think I could speak for the Wizard CZ, myself is never wrong. We're proud to be a part of the Sandra Lee Memorial Car and Bike Show.
100%. Thank you so much, Ricky, for facilitating us being a part of that. Appreciate you letting us be a sponsor of the show. And man, I just can't put into words what this whole weekend meant to me. It's a memory that I'm never going to lose.
It was a fun weekend, a fun show, and it's taken us a few days to recover, but I think we recovered and yeah, we definitely had a blast, and I hope it came through on the show because we were having the time of our lives.
Absolutely. That is going to wrap up this episode 120, talking all things about the Sandra Lee Memorial Car and Bike Show. We will see you on Sunday with Sabotage Sean Logan. Excited to get to know someone we haven't had much experience with. Always nice to bring fresh talent onto the show to learn their story.
Yep.
That being said, we will see you all Sunday right here. Card Subject to Change, powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook Country Financial. We are the podcast by the fans for the fans. Thank you for tuning in to Card Subject to Change.
See you later.